San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Michael Jimenez. Halftime.
Yes, sir. It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportsstar.com. Good afternoon. My name's Michael Jimenez. Rock the Mic champ number 4. It's a very special night here at San Antonio Sports Star because tonight we crown Rock the Mic champ number 6. I'm joined by Carl Schoening. Carl, what's going on, my man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Jimenez?
Dude, I'm excited about tonight. Now, I know you're not going to be there because you have Austin Spurs duty.
That's right. Ciudad de Mexico staying in town for their second game. Los Capitanes.
You get it up and personal with Primo?
No, I have to stay at least 15 feet away.
I want a full report on Joshua Primo, his shooting form, his defensive abilities. I want a full report tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow I can do that. That's not a problem. I could tell you right now, he's shooting 50% from 3. He went 2 of 6 in Rio Grande Valley in their first game, but then he went 5 of 8. He actually... They didn't report it, but it looked to me and pointed out by our friend Jeff Garcia that he left with a limp in that Rio Grande Valley game. Not even worth reporting, and definitely didn't keep him out for the next game, which was oddly enough 9 days later. That's the longest break they'll have all year. But yeah, he didn't get to finish that Rio Grande Valley game, but he did play very well in the second half of the home opener, which was on Sunday. And yeah, he's going to be good, but he has to learn just the intricacies of the NBA, which is what the G League's great, because at the end of the day, it's the only professional sports league in the world where it doesn't matter if you won.
We are going to debate that in about 15 minutes. So we're talking Spurs around 12:15. They're back in action tonight against the T-Wolves. Of course, we have to talk about the Cowboys. At 1 o'clock, would it be the end of the world if the Cowboys lost? This was mentioned on R&R in the morning earlier today. And I want to talk about that.
The end of what world?
For Cowboy fans. Is it the sky is falling, that type of thing?
No, it's a big game and you want to, but no, the world never ends on one game unless it's the playoffs and you're facing an elimination.
But still, this is Cowboy fan we're talking about.
Oh, they're going to the Super Bowl in their heads right now. And
it's
a good argument.
It's a very good argument. Now around 12:30, I'm getting a little bit scared, man. I'm a UTSA Roadrunner fan. I am an alum, and I'm getting kind of scared as Saturday is approaching, the game against UAB. I went back in time. Historically, UAB dominates UTSA. So I was online last night on these Alabama websites, these newspaper sites, UAB sites, trying to find out where are they, what's in their mind going into this game. I'm getting scared, man. I'm getting scared. So we're going to talk about that.
It's for the West, yeah.
Now, again, tonight we will be at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. The Rock the Mic Champ 6 will be crowned. I think we're down to 4. Still don't know who won. I don't think that decision's been made yet.
I understand that Rob makes the decision, but he wants our input, and he hasn't made the decision. But yes, I think it is down to 4. We were at 5 after the voting, and then they narrowed to 3 and threw in a wild card. And I think the wild card might be somebody in competition. But if I had to guess, I think I know who the 2 front runners are. And you'll have to listen in and see if they stay the front runners, because this is the final round tonight. They'll each have a quick segment, and then we'll cast our votes.
I think it's anybody's game because I've heard multiple names come out of that man's mouth as to who he thinks the favorite is coming into tonight. So anybody's ball game at this point. It's going to be fun. I'll be out there again. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, 4 o'clock till 7 during the Blitz. This is the Rector location, so it's behind North Star Mall. So looking forward to that. Come say hi to me, man. I won this contest 2 years ago, so it's near and dear to my heart. I was talking to Quinn Hudson this morning. He's the reigning Rock the Mic champ for about another 6 hours or so, and he's going to be out there as well. So look forward to seeing everybody out there.
We're calling them the Hex. That's going to be their name, the Hex. Okay, because when Pledger walked in earlier, he said, "Who's going to the Hex?" I thought y'all were talking about like the Mambo Curse or something like that, Mambo King Curse. But no, okay, their name's going to be the Hex because the hexagon is 6 sides. This is okay.
Yeah,
This
so
is the sixth
I'm
time.
Quattro. I'm Quattro since I'm 4.
Okay.
RJ Ochoa's OG. He's Rock the Mic OG.
Yes, he's on that in our fantasy league too.
Yeah. Thomas Maud is the trilogy. Quentin Hudson's V. I don't know what Carolina Teague is. I gotta find that one out.
That is a good one. Yeah, we'll have to ask Carolina at some point. She's on Twitter all the time.
Yeah, I hope she's out there too.
She gets to name it herself if there wasn't one.
Very cool. Very cool. This show's going until 2:00. Now, earlier you mentioned Jeff Garcia's name. He's from Ken's 5 and Locked On Spurs. Good friend of ours. We come out on Locked On Spurs and talk about, the team and the rebuild and stuff like that. And he had a question about the Spice Girls, because if you were listening to the show yesterday, we had about a 7-minute debate. It was myself, Pledge, Rudy J, about the Spice Girls, because it's the 25-year anniversary of Wannabe coming out, the 25-year of the album coming out. Now, it was released in Europe first, and then it came to the United States later on, December of 96. So with that 25-year marker there, we went back in time and I asked the question, who was your favorite Spice Girl? So it's funny, Carl, because you're significantly younger than me. You walked in today and I asked you, one of my first things I asked you today was, who was your favorite Spice Girl? And your reaction was like, dude, I was like 5.
I was 5 when the movie came out. I guess I might have been 6. And I remember what I think they called the second British invasion.
Yeah.
I suppose. But I think I was I know I was an NSYNC fan. I kind of liked Backstreet Boys, but it wasn't cool among the 6-year-olds to like both. So I kind of had to pick a side. And NSYNC was the one that I ended up going with. And, we're so far away from boy bands. It's kind of funny. But I do remember the whole Spice Girl craze, because that was what the 6-year-old girls were into. I was more about NSYNC, though.
Now, at that time, I was a 19-year-old boy, and I was really into it. Not so much for the musical side, but because I had my favorites for how they looked and whatnot. And Baby Spice was my favorite. Pledge and Rudy J were all about Scary Spice. But Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs was all about Sporty Spice.
Sporty Spice, huh?
And I was thinking about it. I think she was ahead of her time, because Sporty Spice is, someone who works out a lot, someone who's doing CrossFit, someone who's doing Camp Gladiator type stuff. And I think she's ahead of her time. And he's sending me videos of her, singing songs from like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. She's a very attractive lady.
Mel C, right?
Mel C.
I have the Wikipedia page open to save it here. And I even looked up her like a Google search to see what she looks like now, because I think that she might want to address her Wikipedia page with a more flattering one. It looks like somebody just took it at an angle with their cell phone. You know how Wikipedia is.
Yeah.
You have to use non-copyright images on there. And I saw this thing from People magazine back in 2020, and she said that nobody harassed the Spice Girls because they were too intimidated by them. And I think she's talking about herself, because she looks like she is a CrossFitter, like you were saying.
Yeah, I believe that, man. And I'm a fan. Don't get me wrong. There's a few songs out there. I would never have admitted that when I was 19 years old, but now at 44, yeah, To Become One, that was a good song. Wannabe is a bop still, dude. That's still a song that if it comes out on the radio, if I'm washing dishes, if I'm washing my car, I'm going to leave it on. If I'm jogging, I'm going to leave it on.
I need 90s nostalgia, so I will listen to a Spice Girls album on the way up to Austin later today.
Very cool. Now, you're going to stop and get some pants on the way over there. I understand. See, this was something that really concerned me today. I texted Pledger around 9:30 this morning about jeans, because I've already said that he's going to dress me at some point when it comes to me hitting my goal and losing all 40 pounds. I'm down 30, but I needed jeans because my jeans were all ratted out, man. And Rock the Mic is tonight, and I wanted to look good. So I wanted to get some decent jeans, and that just concerns me, man. I go out to Kohl's or JCPenney or just someplace looking for jeans, and I hate it because I don't know the look that I'm looking for. So I'm, going online asking about like which Levi's are good and which, this, that, and the other, because, man, I'm not the most fashionable person in the world, but I want to look okay. So I was just really nervous over there at Kohl's today. And I come in here, have brand new jeans. I'm really excited. I'm wearing some 38s.
Nice.
Okay. I was a 42. Now I'm 38, and these 38s are kind of loose. I probably could have pushed a 36. So this journey is all about fit. I know Rudy J has rededicated himself to his health as well. And I don't know what you're doing, but the fact of the matter is, you mentioned to me that you have to go to Austin and you realize you don't have any pants.
I could not find them for the life of me last night. So now a day that wasn't too tight is going to be tight because it takes 30 minutes to find a decent pair of pants. I'm not looking for jeans. Jeans are a little bit more intricate because they have all those fits. You have the boot fit, the relaxed fit, the skinny fit, the slim fit, all that kind of stuff. Where if you're looking for that 38 waist, you're not going to get the same kind of fit on all 38 waists. They're all not made the same. So yeah, I know what you mean because I got to figure out what I'm going to still put on, but it's dress pants. So it's not as much of a stress as jeans because jeans, they give you so many options and you don't know what you're going to fit in well. And you have to try on like 4 different pairs. I'm going to find a pair of dress pants and try and get out of there as quick as possible.
Oh man, it just makes me nervous. I hate trying on clothes anywhere. Absolutely hate just the whole process of just getting naked in a department store. I mean, they're not naked.
I was about to say, don't take off everything.
You know, I mean, hey, commando days, you know, might be laundry day for all we know. Hey, people are commenting on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. By the way, you can go on to Facebook, go on to YouTube, search San Antonio Sports Star, like, subscribe, and you can also watch our show. We're live on Facebook. Ronald Schmidtka says that Carolina Teague should just be called Dose. She's the second winner.
It works. I was thinking that.
And Chris Hernandez says, till this day, I will never, ever listen. I will never, ever listen and will always change it when the Spice Girls come on. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, so I mentioned that I was 19 years old at that time, and they were kind of like my celebrity crush at that time. I think you can learn a lot about somebody if you know who their celebrity crush was when they were growing up. So give me your 2, 3, or 4, your Mount Rushmore of celebrity crushes, because you were born in the early 90s, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
So this is probably your crushes from 2005 to 2010. Who were they?
You know, I think I was ahead of my time. I saw Lost in Translation, and I thought Scarlett Johansson was very attractive, and she turns out to be Black Widow and is all over the place now. So yeah, I'm trying to remember though. You're putting me on the spot, so I know that I have to think about it real quick. I know Angelina Jolie was somebody that I thought was pretty attractive, and she still looks pretty good. I saw her in Eternals.
Yeah, I am Team Jolie. There's a lot of people out there who were either Team Aniston or Team Jolie when it came to Brad Pitt back in the day. I was all about Team Jolie. Sorry, not sorry. That is my thing right there. But who's your celebrity crush now?
Man, I don't know if I have one. I have a girlfriend, so I haven't thought about those things in a while, but I get it.
I'm going to give you 15 seconds to think about it because I'll let you know. I'm 44 years old. I still have celebrity crushes. My wife and I talk about them all the time. Hers is like Taye Diggs. She loves Taye Diggs. She loves, old crooners like George Strait, stuff like that. I am a big fan of Ana de Armas, who's the new Bond girl. I'm a big fan of Halsey. So, Christina Hendricks, those are my celebrity crushes, but at least give me one, man. Just one right now. We won't tell your girl.
That's really a tough one because I just haven't thought about it. And 15 seconds to just kind of pick a name out of the hat is a rough one.
Hey, Scarlett Johansson can still be the answer.
But I was about to say Scarlett Johansson hasn't missed a step. So yeah, we can go with her. In fact, Black Widow probably makes her a lot more attractive than the Lost in Translation, where if you're watching the movie, I don't necessarily get why that movie was such a big deal because it was very slow and
slightly
now
overrated.
She's much more of a badass these days. So still Scar. Let's go with that.
Yeah, Colin Jost, what a man, dude. That guy, that's her, I don't know, boyfriend, fiance, husband.
Good for him.
Yeah, from SNL. So very, very cool. Halftime, we go till 2:00. We talk all things sports, pop culture, nostalgia. Edwin Hafner is our producer. Thank you for being with us today. It's a good time, man. 1 week from now, Thanksgiving. 1 week from now, football.
You're going to watch Bears, Lions?
Dude, that's when you serve food. Who watches that game?
I'm actually going to have Thanksgiving with a Lions fan. So I'll be watching that game. And he just wants everybody. He wants the worst case scenario. I don't know if he doesn't like Dan Campbell, but I watched the Thanksgiving Lions game with him 3 years ago, and he just wanted everybody to lose. So I don't know what he wants now.
Let's go ahead and remove the Lions from the Thanksgiving tradition because no one cheers for them. I know you say you have one friend. He's one of like 6 in the entire
from Detroit.
country.
So there you go.
I mean, Detroit, there needs to be a different city now. I mean, that tradition's lost. I understand having the Cowboys on there. They're the most popular team. They're also the most hated team in the NFL. It makes sense. It makes it a holiday. I love Thanksgiving, but I also like the fact that they're going to be on at 3:30 because at that point I'm vegged out. I've already had 2 or 3 plates. I've already had 2 slices of pie, and it's just food coma city. And I'm just going to like open my eyes and go, oh, what quarter is it in? And just kind of keep going back and forth. But I am running a 5K Thanksgiving morning.
Man. So what time is the 5K? Is it going to
It's at
overlap
8.
the? Okay, so you're still going to make the Lions game if you so choose.
If I wanted to, but who would want to watch that? No one has any fantasy players for either of those teams. I'm sure somebody does.
No. Of course somebody
has
does,
Swift,
but I know what you mean. Yeah,
but it's just an unsexy game. I think the holiday games, because like the NBA, what does the NBA do? Sexy games. The most popular teams play.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow or another, we're trapped into another Detroit Lions game. Now, they didn't lose this past week. It was a tie.
That's true. Yeah, they go out to the Steelers and get with their first win, which also counts as a loss, which is a tie. At least in the standings. You're right. They're now 8-1. So I'll be an Eagles fan among a Lions fan for the first game, and then the rest of my girlfriend's family are Cowboys fans. So I'll probably be apathetic to the first one, but the Eagles fan in me is almost at the point where the Cowboys are good. So win as many games as you can so you get the best pick, but don't win the Super Bowl. I still like to hold it over people's head that I have the Eagles, I should say, have the most recent Super Bowl.
I'm a Saints fan. That's my team, and I know my Saints are going to lose to the Cowboys in a couple of weeks. I already know it. Don't come at me and go, oh, the Cowboys beat the Saints. Yeah, no kidding. The Saints are starting a third string quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. All the pressure in the world in that situation is on Cowboy fan because Saints fans are there going, yeah, we're a 500 team right now because we have a really good defense, and offensively, Kamara's hurt. Offensively, we have a third string quarterback. We are not expecting to beat good teams. That's just the way that it is. So don't come at me all, oh, I know you don't like the Cowboys and anything. You're going to kick the butts of the Saints. Don't want to hear it. Yeah, I know. Let's get some sports headlines. Edwin Hafner.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Headline 2, Justin Verlander re-signs with the Astros. He's coming back on a 1-year, $25 million deal with an option, a player option for year 2. Verlander's 38 years old. He missed a lot of the season because of Tommy John surgery, but he was 21-6 in 2019. He won the AL Cy Young back then.
Kate Upton, that's the other celebrity crush. There you go.
Oh,
yeah. How could you forget Kate
round
Upton?
of applause there, Carl.
So yeah, Verlander obviously coming off that Tommy John surgery, but he was that 2019 Cy Young winner, and obviously there's a pitching need for the Astros. When you get up to that late 30s, you don't know when that cliff that your starting pitcher is going to fall off of happens. But it's worth investing in Justin Verlander right now because he's probably the best of your options available, and you might as well kick the tires on it, and hopefully he comes back strong from this Tommy John surgery and lives up to this contract.
There is absolutely crazy money in baseball. $25 million. Think about that. That would be, Derek White is the highest paid Spur player. He would make $8 million more to basically be a middle reliever. That's basically it. Maybe he'll come back as a starter, but they're not expecting much from him. He's coming back off of surgery. Verlander, that guy's going to go in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And it's very difficult to have 250 wins, and I don't think he's there yet. Last I saw, he's around 230. But that whole threshold that you need to get, that these baseball old-timers say that you need to pass to make the Hall of Fame, that doesn't happen very often. But Verlander will be in the Hall of Fame one day. Sure, kick the tires, but I'm most intrigued about that kicker, that it's a player option, because if he doesn't pan out, the Astros are on the line.
they must believe in him enough to have offered something like that. But I also would assume that he was going to get similar offers from somebody like the Yankees that he was tied to. So this is Houston keeping their guy as opposed to losing him and potentially even Correa to the team in pinstripes in New York.
Exactly.
Headline 1.
The Big 12 publicly reprimanded Texas Tech football radio announcers Breton Jensen and John Harris, who are removed from calling the next game against Oklahoma State this weekend, for being critical of the officials during the game, going so far as to list off individual names after officials overturned an apparent interception at the goal line by a Red Raiders defensive back in the fourth quarter. The Texas Tech announcers were apoplectic. Quote, "I'll say it right now. The Big 12 does not want Iowa State to lose this game," Harris said. Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby said in a statement, quote, "I understand the roles of the play-by-play and color analysts. However, as university representatives, they have an obligation to adhere to the conference policy regarding comments about game officials. The comments by the Red Raider Radio Network booth announcers were contrary to the expected levels and respect of professionalism. Questioning the integrity of conference officials and calling out members of the officiating crew is beyond appropriate and beyond permissible behavior. Is this fair or not?"
Absolutely, it's fair. You can't be any kind of critical against the officials if you are a play-by-play broadcaster or a color analyst, because you're employed by the teams. The teams are part of the league. And these guys specifically called out Bob Bowlesby and said, "You're going to have to explain that one." And so his explanation is you're getting suspended. You're not going to get to broadcast your next game because you're critical of these guys that they're just doing their job to the best of their abilities. I didn't see the play in question, but there have been times where I have said, well, I think the official missed it. That's okay to say. To say that the rig is in, basically, that's, the Big 12 wants their higher rated team to improve so they can get higher in the top 25 and so on. That's not necessarily, that's foul. If you're talking about fair or foul, that particular part is foul because you're not supposed to do that as a play-by-play broadcaster, and these guys know that.
100% agree. 100% agree. These are Red Raider announcers, okay? These are not objective announcers that you get on Fox or you get on ESPN or ABC Sports. They are objective. I have a problem with that because, like, when the Spurs are on TV, don't get me wrong, Bill Land and Sean Elliott do a fantastic job, and Michelle Beadle, they do a fantastic job. But I love it when they're on national TV so I don't have to hear them sometimes because I want to get a little bit more of an objective point of view. But when it comes to these particular announcers from Texas Tech, the fact of the matter is they went overboard. Again, you can say they missed the call. You can say that was a terrible call, a horrible call. But you can't go out there and say that this game is rigged, that this game is, against that they do not want the Red Raiders to win. Because, come on, man, those guys are doing a job out there, and they're humans, and they're going to get good calls, and they're going to make bad calls out there.
Headline 0.
A U.S. sportsbook is facing a 7-figure loss if the Los Angeles Angels' Shohei Ohtani wins the AL MVP award on March 19th. A bettor in Nevada placed a $30,000 bet that Ohtani would win the AL MVP award at 30-1 odds with a William Hill sportsbook. He is a finalist along with the Toronto Blue Jays star Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Marcus Semien. The sportsbook is facing a $1 million loss because of it.
I saw this, and the thing is, it's a smaller sports book.
Yeah.
So for this particular sports book to lose this type of money is a big deal to them. I don't think it's anything to put them out because they have ties to Caesars and such. But as I understand it, if you are a sports book, you have your own bank.
Right.
And if you're going to accept a $30,000 bet, you better be ready to cash that check in case they win. And this was back in March when the guy bet on Shohei Ohtani. So he became a front runner like a month later. I would hope that they saved up just a little bit. It's going to cost them over $1 million by the time they have to pay out everything. But yeah, that's That's a tough one to take if you're a small business sports book.
Yeah, I've been to the William Hill books over there in Vegas. There's a handful of them out there. They're all affiliated with each other. I'm sure they'll be perfectly fine. And I don't know if there's like insurance for this that these companies kind of maybe hold. Like whenever someone has like a hole-in-one contest, you buy the insurance in case someone actually does hit the hole-in-one. But I would say this, whoever made this bet, smart man, but hedge, baby. Hedge on the other side. Bet some money the other way in case you don't get it.
I don't know. 30,000 is pretty confident. I know you want to hedge, but how much are you going to spend on the hedge?
I would. You're not going to get much odds on the other way, right? So probably enough to recoup the 30,000.
Good luck on that one. But hey, 30,000 on a 30-1 shot. If I had that kind of money just laying around, because you got to give them the 30,000
exactly,
and then you're waiting until Thursday night. So this guy waited from March until what's Thursday night? Oh wait, that's tonight. It's going to be announced tonight when the Shohei Ohtani. So from March until November 18th. This guy's just been sweating this one out, but he's probably feeling pretty good about it. I think Ohtani is going to win.
That's the 411 and a 210.
I'll tell you a quick betting story. Back in 2002, December, I went to Vegas with some friends, and it was what's called the dark period over there. It's kind of when there's no shows going on. It's after Christmas. It's before New Year's. It's very cheap to go around that time because, again, there's no shows. Everyone's off for the holidays, and then they all come back for New Year's Eve. 2002, I won a couple $1,000s, which at that time I was 25 years old. That's a big deal to win $2,000 or $3,000. So I placed a bunch of futures bets. I bet that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at like 10-1 odds would win the Super Bowl. They did. I bet that the Spurs would win the 2003 NBA Finals. They did. I got the World Series correct. And on March Madness, I picked two teams to make it to the finals, and they played each other. Syracuse at 30-1 placed a $30 bet, 30-1, $900 win for Carmelo Anthony and the Syracuse Orangemen. It was a good year.
So you turned $3,000 into what?
About 4,500 at that point.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't bet it all on the futures bets, but I was putting down 30, 40, $50 out the door. That's always really, really cool.
And then you had to go back to Vegas and drop it all by the time you collected it, right?
That's what single guys do, man. They go back to Vegas because I think I went back probably the following summer, and it was so cool to walk in there with all these winning tickets and just basically have a free vacation. Hey, Spurs are back in action tonight against the T-Wolves. It's one of those games, man. Both of those teams are struggling, and it's just I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, Jakob Poeltl is still the missing piece if the Spurs are ever going to turn this around. When we come back, let's talk Spurs. Let's also talk UTSA football because, man, I'm very confident in my Roadrunners up until about now. Now I'm getting a little bit worried. Talk me off the ledge. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and on the go at sasportstar.com.
Listeners of the Paul Feinbaum Show come from all parts of the South.
And I live in the mountains.
They're passionate about the SEC.
I've been drinking a little beer this afternoon, and I've got the feeling that we're going to beat Georgia by 3.
They're a rowdy bunch.
Woo! Yeah, Peg, do it!
And they're the most honest people you will ever meet.
Yeah, I do like me. I've given up women and turned to porn.
There's nothing like the SEC. Talk SEC with Paul Feinbaum. Weekdays 2 to 4, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
How's your cell phone coverage? How's your cell phone bill? You know, a lot of big carriers overcharge you for unlimited data. They brag about coverage, but that's only if you live in the city. This is Greg Akagi. I've been an agriculture director for over 20 years, and I know what people outside the city need. Pure Talk. Pure Talk gives you great 5G coverage for about half of what Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge you. The average family saves over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or save on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With their U.S.-based customer service, I believe in the way Pure Talk treats their customers. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off. and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 and say half off.
Hey team, we landed the contract!
Yeah. Kayo's web design studio just landed the gig of a lifetime.
It starts next week?
Their staff needs to double before the dream deal becomes a nightmare.
We need front end, back end, a project manager.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Hello, this is Dr. Mark Havercorn of River City Oral Surgery. We're the practice that upset the industry by publishing all of our prices on our website, rivercityoms.com. We offer tooth extractions, wisdom tooth extractions, dental implants, all-in-4 dental implants for about 25% less than the competition, and all kinds of other face, mouth, and neck surgery. Why else should you come see us? Easy. Because we are easy to talk to, compassionate, and experienced. It's not impossible to get a hold of me. We'll call you back when we say we will. Unlike other places, dental surgeries are not the hardest surgeries I do. We do all-in-4 dental implant cases every week. I'm not sweating your case or pushing my limits. And if you have a complication somewhere else, you're probably going to be referred to an oral surgeon. So why not start with the expert? Call River City Oral Surgery and me, Dr. Havercorn, at 210-778-0002.
Call River City Oral Surgery, 210-778-0002. That's 210-778-0002. Or visit rivercityoms.com.
Giving you an excuse for a long lunch break. This is Halftime with Michael Jimenez on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Upload a photo of what's on your grill and enter a description and recipe, and you could win a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Winner chosen every Thursday at 6 on the Blitz. Welcome back to Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. My name is Michael Jimenez, joined by Carl Schoening. Edwin Hafner is producing the show. UTSA football, big game going on this Saturday at the Dome.
Biggest game of the season.
Probably the biggest game in that program's history.
That's a tough one to say, but it has to be.
I mean, the implications are huge. Think about this. Win this game, you win the West for Conference USA. You get to host the Conference USA title game on December 3rd. Playing against a UAB team who, for those of you all who don't know, is historically a really good team in this conference. And I'm getting a little bit scared. Don't get me wrong. I think UTSA is an excellent team. Obviously, they're ranked 15th in the AP, 22 in the CFP. They're undefeated. I get that. But I'm looking at historical trends and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to wake up on Sunday morning surprised if something bad happened. Going back in time, UAB beat UTSA last year 21-13 in Alabama. 2019 at the Dome, UAB won 33-14. The year before that, UAB won 52-3. The year before that, UAB won 24-19. They have a history of beating UTSA, and this isn't history of like years and years and years ago. I hate those stats. Like, oh, well, those stats where it's like when those kids were like 3 years old and it doesn't matter, right? But these are, Frank Harris has lost to UAB. Sincere McCormick has lost to UAB. The star receivers have lost to UAB. They've never beaten them before. So it's just something that is getting underneath my skin a little bit, and it's making me a little worried. Fair or foul?
No, it's understandable because, if you're 0-for against somebody, you almost expect that trend to last. I remember there was a quarterback at Stephen F. Austin back in like the late 2000s to 2010 that had never beaten Texas State. SFA was number 3 in the country, and Texas State was on its second-string quarterback, and he lost that game. So there was just something about Texas State that this all-time great Stephen F. Austin quarterback could never overcome that team for whatever reason, because obviously roster turnover in college is every few years. You're dealing with essentially 90% different roster. But in this particular case, 4-year starter at one school, they were always better than Texas State at that particular time. Texas State goes on to defeat them all 4 times, even though they were a little up and down. And to translate it, this happens in college across other examples. So here you're looking at a team of destiny almost in the UTSA Roadrunners. Add this to another part of their trend towards having an unforgettable season. But it does take a lot of wind out of the sails if they lose this one. UAB's in the driver's seat to win the Western Division because they have the head-to-head. They're 5-1 in conference, so this would be a first loss of conference play for UTSA, and then they would have the head-to-head,
right? And
then they would possibly win the entire division. So, the UTSA, ignore last week where maybe use last week as fuel, where Southern Miss gave you a really good game. They were in control a good 3/4 of that game.
I mean, think about it this way. Southern Miss, UTSA was favored by 33 points. I know that's a Vegas line. It's just to encourage betting. I get that. But it tells you what the prognosticators think. It gives you what the experts think, the people who analyze this data think about the games. This game is a 5.5 point spread. You get 3 points for being at home, right? So on a neutral field, UTSA, according to Vegas, would be favored by 2.5. That shows you how talented that UAB team is, and they have to be taken seriously. And I'm looking at this team of destiny, this undefeated season that could potentially happen. And what would it take? It would take beating this really good UAB team, who only has 2 losses, who, as you mentioned during the break, played Georgia this year. Not very well.
56-7.
But played Georgia, right? They were up there. And they would have to then go on. UTSA would then have to beat North Texas, which having an off season.
It's doable. They're only 4-6 on the season, so they could be playing for their bowl eligibility if you want to look at it that way. If they win this week, then next week will be for their bowl eligibility.
And then for the Conference USA title, it would be Western Kentucky, who I believe the score was like 52-46. UTSA won earlier this year. And that was a crazy, crazy game that went down to the wire, 52-46. So
and a rematch here in San Antonio.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things where I'm getting kind of antsy because UTSA has come this far and you see the finish line. You see the undefeated season being a possibility. But the fact of the matter is that there's only, 3 teams left in college football that's undefeated? UTSA, Cincinnati, and Georgia. And it's very difficult to run the table, but UTSA has a legit shot this Saturday. You going to be at the game Saturday?
I'm not doing anything Saturday, and I was planning on it, so I think I will try and make it out there. I want to be part of. I'm going to throw a number out, the 40,000 plus that make it out there, and they're going to need that home field advantage to propel them to a victory because the city is starting to get behind them. And if they don't get 40,000 now, when are they going to get 40,000?
That's a big number, man, because I think 35,000 is the max that UTSA is going to get. Prove me wrong, guys. I want to be there. I want to go to this game. I was planning on going last weekend. Daddy got a kidney stone the day of the game, so I couldn't go. But yes, and I refer to myself as Daddy there. But I'm excited about that game. The game is 2:30. I was incorrect. UAB has 3 losses, or 7-3 coming in. But I was looking up articles about them, and it's funny. You go on to that city's newspapers,
Birmingham's,
Birmingham's newspapers, and they're still talking about Bama. They're talking about Saban. They're not talking about UAB so much, but the ones that were, the articles that I did read were very, very favorable. Very, very. They're not putting out any bulletin board material for UTSA out there. They're being very respectful. But again, these programs have played each other 5 times, and UAB has won 4 of them.
And they're quite the story, because I want to say maybe it was 7 years ago, they disbanded their entire team. And they took like 2 years off and said, okay, we're bringing football back. And they've bounced back to a very respectable team quickly. Maybe Texas State should look into that. My alma mater needs to figure that out.
Well, I have ties to Texas State as well. I went to Texas State for 2.5 years, ultimately graduated from UTSA. So it's kind of a weird thing because, my heart belongs to Texas State, but my degree says UTSA. So I get to claim both.
Fair enough. Yeah. And, no one's going to give you any crap about that. That rivalry is over because it's like the hammer and the nail. Texas State has just never exploded. That's sleeping giants in a coma.
Well, this year, the Spurs have most definitely been the nail because they've lost 10 of 14 games. Tonight, back in action, 7 o'clock tip-off against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota. The T-Wolves, a 2-point favorite in this game. What do you think? Spurs going to finally win this game?
I feel like they need to. And it's one of those things where, yes, they're missing Jakob Poeltl. So you're really kind of missing out on that rim protection against Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, who loves to finish at and above the rim. So it's been a rough couple weeks without Jakob. I imagine the Spurs are probably closer to 7 or 8 wins with Jakob around. But in this particular case, no, they're going to have to weather the storm without him as he gets back into shape coming off of his positive COVID test. So it's not the end of the world if they even lose the next few games, because they need to get Jakob back. He's their second best player. And without him, all these games are going to be toss-ups if they're not necessarily losses, and they're not going to definitively lose. They're not the Houston Rockets. They're not the New Orleans Pelicans, but the Spurs being competitive in this one, you want to hope that even without Jakob, they can pull away the win. But Spurs fans, this is your competition now. All those years with Tim Duncan and Kawhi Leonard, you were trying to be better than the Lakers or whoever the contender was at the particular time, because there were years where the Lakers weren't trying to be good at all because the 76ers had their first round picks and they were just trying to tank and get those top 3 picks back, and it worked for them. They ended up getting Anthony Davis out of all those top 3 picks. I digress. But the Spurs are trying to be better than the Detroit Pistons, who have the same amount of wins, for the Timberwolves, etc. Be better than the bad teams, and then you can get into the play-in. At the moment, it's looking like it'll be a fight for that 10 seed that they really got to try and pull off. But they can hit a stride. You never know.
I would absolutely hate if the Spurs went for that 10th spot. Absolutely hate it. It's not needed. It goes nowhere. You either race to the top or you race to the bottom. But this T-Wolves team, deceptively good players on there. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns both averaging 23.1 points per game. D'Angelo Russell averaging 17.8 and 6 assists. It's just one of those teams, man. They're 5-9. They're a game better than the Spurs. I never thought the Spurs would self-destruct once Jakob Poeltl was unable to play. I mean, he was an important part of that defense. He anchored that interior defense, and you saw that with Anthony Davis, with Kristaps Porzingis. The Spurs had no one to guard somebody who was taller than 6'10". If they were taller than 6'10", they were feasting on the Spurs repeatedly. So going into this game, I think that's going to be an issue because of the length. And Anthony Edwards is a solid player. I wonder who's going to guard him because he has girth to him.
I feel like DeJounte or Keldon or maybe even Derek White are all respectable answers. And I don't think the Spurs are ever going to just say, hey, DeJounte, you're guarding Anthony the whole game. They'll probably mix up the looks because the Spurs are really good at forcing turnovers. This came from Dan Weiss. They have 4 games where they forced 20 turnovers. The last time the Spurs have done that was 2018. So already the Spurs are looking like a create havoc defensive team. Without Jakob Poeltl, that's not something that's really going to change. Poeltl's there for the steady hand at the rim when they do go for these steals and try and poke things loose, and the gamble doesn't pay off. But the fact that they're just kind of right here is something that Spurs fans need to embrace a little bit, because this is part of every team's process. I wouldn't want to be like the Timberwolves, who currently have 3 number 1 or number 2 overall picks on their roster, and they're still sputtering. D'Angelo Russell, he was number 2, in 2017, I want to say. Anthony Edwards back in 2020. Karl Anthony Towns, I guess 2015, if I'm not mistaken, he was number 1 overall pick. And where's it gotten them? They even had Andrew Wiggins, who was the number 1 overall pick in 2014.
But the pieces of the puzzle eventually have to fit together. That's the thing. It's not just getting the players, it's getting the right chemistry, it's getting the right supporting cast. And that's why I like what the Spurs have done with like a Thad Young or a Doug McDermott. The Spurs have some character guys in there. They just need to kind of fill out the pieces. And the problem is that the Spurs need better talent, and they're not going to get that. I don't care how much salary cap space they have. They're not going to get it, because the Spurs had all the salary cap space in the world this past offseason, and the best they got was McBuckets. That was the best they got. With all the money in the world. They had the second most salary cap space available, and that was the best that they were able to do. So whenever I hear salary cap space, I just go, why? What's the point? Just develop in the draft. Do it like Golden State. But right now, the player that is playing so well is DeJounte Murray. Since Poeltl's been out, he's averaged about 22 points a game. But for the season, almost at 19 points a game, north of 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and more than 2 steals, which really impresses me because he deflects everything his way. And today, by the way, I was on Facebook Time Hop. Today's the 1-year anniversary of Devin Vassell being drafted by the Spurs, because the draft was held in mid-November. The 1-year anniversary is today. So for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, you might have a different opinion, but I believe the only players on the Spurs roster that as of today, November 18th, 2021, that are untouchable, that I would not trade, are DeJounte Murray, Devin Vassell, and Joshua Primo. I think those are the only 3.
I would probably tend to agree. That makes a lot of sense. If you were to make a trade for a star, you wouldn't want to lose any of those 3. That makes sense, because Primo is loaded with talent. But if Primo is the thing holding up a, say, combination of DeJounte Murray and Ben Simmons, because you were able to keep DeJounte,
right?
That's a tough one, because I do like Josh Primo a lot, but Ben Simmons is a guaranteed all-star caliber player that you could pair with somebody that the 76ers have been trying to pair him with for a long time, and a player like DeJounte Murray that he can switch over to the 2 when Simmons wants to play the 1, and then Murray's back on ball and Simmons plays that 4 that the Spurs have been working into their offense.
I never thought about playing them together, if that was even a possibility. But think about it this way, because we'll never know the internal workings as to whether or not the Spurs offered anything for Ben Simmons. But if the Sixers turn down DeJounte Murray, a couple of other players, and a couple of picks, if they turn that down, and you see DeJounte Murray be a player by the end of the season, averaging 28 and 8 and 2 steals, and making an all-defensive team, then they messed up.
I think in the offseason, I don't know if the Spurs ever offered DeJounte, but in the offseason, they probably didn't think of DeJounte the way they do now. Because they had their eyes on the Bradley Beal or the Damian Lillard prize. Today, as of November 18th, 2021, DeJounte Murray's better than Damian Lillard.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. Dame is off to a terrible start. He's hitting the wrong side of 30, and his time as an all-star is looking like it's done. And granted, it's not the smallest sample size. We're through about 10 games. DeJounte has been a better player than Damian Lillard.
DeJounte is a great player, has 2 years left on his contract. Very affordable contract when you compare it to the rest of the cap. Only 25 years old. Man, he is playing so well right now. And I know the Spurs are losing, but I'm looking for some bright spots. The bright spots, DeJounte is playing well. Devin Vassell out of his mind as well. Amazing. That's why I look at Devin Vassell and go, he did not have to have that G League experience. But we're looking at that with Primo. Primo's younger, though. He was not as NBA ready. I get that. But we're going to talk about that in the next hour. Let's break that one down a little bit. But, man, this show is going by fast. Absolutely love it. We're almost halfway through. When we come back, let's talk about Rock the Mic. Big party that's going on tonight. We'll give you some details about it. And at 1 o'clock, let's talk some Cowboys, baby. America's team back in action Sunday at 3:25. Big game against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Would it be the end of the world if the Cowboys lost? Let's talk about it. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, on the go at sasportstar.com.
Get your college game on. Get ready for the fight songs. It's college football.
Touchdown! What a catch!
Hear it live on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The UTSA Roadrunners men's basketball team improved to 3-2 on the season following a 60-57 win over IUPUI last night. The Runners basketball team is back in action at 3 o'clock this Sunday against Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the Convocation Center. The Houston Rockets lost their 13th in a row last night in Oklahoma City. Ugnitz Dort dropped 34 points to help OKC get their 6th win on the season. The Dallas Mavericks without Luka Doncic lost in Phoenix 105-98. The Suns had 6 players score in double figures to propel them to their 11th win. Dallas drops to 9-5. And the San Antonio Spurs try to bounce back tonight as they wrap up a 3-game road trip in Minnesota with tip-off at 7. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your wipers are streaking. It might be time for a new set. We've got a great deal to help you get the job done and be ready for the weather ahead. Right now, you can get a $15 AutoZone gift card by mail or email when you buy 2 Bosch Envision wiper blades. And we've got even more ways to shop. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
Napa know-how.
When you buy the Napa bag for 99 cents, you'll get 20% off 3 or more items. No other bag saves you 20% on wipers, premium oil, headlamps, and more, which makes the Napa bag the best bag in the world. Sorry, handbags, man bags, punching bags, bagpipes, and even you, bags out of the eyes. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, does not include taxes and fees. Advertised sale price not available in some states. Offer ends 11/30/21.
Shante, can you sweep that, please?
Mina's salon business is growing faster than she can keep up with. She needs a new shop manager before her bookings go out of style.
Curtain bangs and balayage would look so good on you. Just hang on one second. Can you please answer that?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Rock the Mic finale will be live at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar North Star location this afternoon. We will have our final 3 and our Jim Beam wild card with us, and we're deciding the Rock the Mic 2021 champion. Who's going to be our next champ? Join us at the OG Slackers North Star location and help us congratulate our new ESPN Sports Star team member, and you can enter to win Dallas Cowboys home game tickets. Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you by Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar and in part by Jim Beam.
When you're sick, injured, or experiencing a medical problem of any kind, the last thing you want to do is leave your home to find medical care. Now, thanks to Dispatch Health, you don't have to, because Dispatch Health comes to you. That's right. Receive high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the comfort of your own home when you need it. Just call or click, and Dispatch Health comes to your home, able to treat common to complex illnesses and injuries. It's really that simple. Go to dispatchhealth.com now to learn more and download the app so you're always just the touch of a button away from the quality health care you need. Dispatch Health is affordable and in-network with most health insurance plans, including Medicare. It's true, high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the ease and comfort of your own home, all for an affordable price. So the next time you're sick or injured, stay home, stay comfortable, and let Dispatch Health come to you. Go to dispatchhealth.com and say hello to the modern-day house call. That's dispatchhealth.com. Go to dispatchhealth.com.
2 teams, 22 players, and over 100,000 screaming maniacs. Your home for Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, it's Greeny, and I've only got 10 seconds, so here's my plug. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, Cowboy fans, listen up. Did you know that you could win tickets to every single Dallas Cowboys home game this season? It's simple. Just go to sasportstar.com to register and win. You can win tickets to every home game from your home of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Welcome back to halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star. My name's Michael Jimenez, joined by Carl Schoening. It's been fun so far. Gonna have some more fun tonight, though. Rock the Mic 6. We are crowning the champion over at Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, the one on Rector Street behind North Star Mall. It's gonna be a fun night. Come out. I mean, obviously, it's gonna be during the Blitz, so you'll see Jason Minix there. Rob Thompson will be there. James Pledger might make a cameo. I'll be there. Rudy J will be there. Lots of people will be there. When I won, because last year, Quinn Hudson won, but it was all done virtually. There was no celebration. But when I won 2 years ago, it was so much fun. We had hundreds of people there. It was a big party atmosphere. And I just could not believe when they called my name as the winner. In fact, they said, 4th place is this person, 3rd place is this person. And I thought I was going to be 3rd. I honestly thought I was going to be 3rd.
Oh, you underrated yourself.
Well, it was interesting because
you set yourself up mentally to get a little let down in there. Then how elated were you when they announced you a winner?
I was very elated. There's video of it. I'll show it to you during the commercial break. But I was so shocked when I won. And in fact, the contestants are going to be live on the Blitz today doing another segment. And I remembered when I won the finals, the person who liked talking Cowboys got a bunch of Cowboys questions. Person who liked talking Spurs got Spurs questions. Longhorns got Longhorn questions. And me, man, they were asking me questions about the Arizona Cardinals, about Kyler Murray and Texas Tech and all of this different stuff that I knew enough to kind of have a brief conversation about, but I remember walking off that stage and looking at my wife saying, what the hell was that? They either really like me or they really hate me is what my wife said. because she goes, they're testing you at this point to see if you could tap dance. But it was fun. Again, we're going to be at Slackers, the location behind North Star Mall. Come say hi. Tell you what, the first 2 or 3 people who say hi to me, I'll get you a beer. How about that?
Oh, that's nice of you.
Very cool. And from my understanding, we might have a Papa Shot contest going on between me and Minix and Rudy J. And
Rob has been talking a lot of trash about that.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to do it like just one game or if it's going to be tournament style, double elimination type of thing. So I'm looking forward to it. We have another hour of halftime coming up. We're talking Cowboys. Big game against Mahomes. Big game against the Chiefs. Who does it mean more to win that game? Is it more to the Chiefs? More to the Cowboys? And then later on, we're going to ask Carl this question. How long could he last in jail? I bring this up because I'm watching a show on Netflix which hides people in there undercover. And I look at my wife and I tell her, I don't know how long I would last. But I'm going to think about this. Let's dive into that. This is halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and on the go at sasportstar.com.
The Blitz, sports talk, and everything else.
Pledges Houston Texans. He's on pins and needles as they go to play Cleveland.
For a different reason, though.
Yeah, you always act like you're on pins and needles, man. You can't sit still. So you're always bouncing around. I never know if you're nervous about the game or it's just, pledge time. What does Rob say? You make coffee nervous? You're always going.
Jason Minix, weekday afternoons 4 to 7 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, you're paying too much. Switching to Pure Talk saves the average family over $800 a year. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off, and you'll save 50% off your first month.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green.
At CDW, we get the path of progress is complicated, but CDW Amplified Services experts can collaborate with you, develop roadmaps, handle deployment, and manage your environment so you can achieve your goals faster than you thought possible. From implementing advanced cybersecurity techniques to optimizing your multi-cloud environment, we'll help you design, orchestrate, and manage the solutions your organization needs so we reach the finish line together, but you get all the glory. CDW Amplified Services, people who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/services.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Plan now for the Top Brass Military and Tactical Black Friday sale. It's one day only, Friday, November 26th. Doors will open at 9:30, and the first 25 customers will get a gift card of up to $100. And Top Brass will have doorbuster deals and store-wide discounts all day. Enter to win dozens of raffle prizes, including a Sons of Liberty AR-15, and get a free 5.11 tactical hat or assisted opening pocket knife with qualifying purchases. Top Brass Military and Tactical on 10 and Fredericksburg.
Joint pain relief doesn't have to mean drugs and surgery. Now there's a better alternative that patients are raving about. Hey, it's James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star for my friends at QC Kinetics. Local medical professionals using natural biologic treatments, highly concentrated healing properties from your own body put directly into the affected joint, restoring and repairing damaged tissue the way your body was designed to heal. If you're tired of the Band-Aid solutions like drugs and steroids and you really want to avoid surgery, you need to check out QC Kinetics. Regenerative, restorative, natural treatments for knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, and pain in your hips. Don't continue to suffer and don't go in for surgery until you check this out. See if you're a candidate. They have locations in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Call QC Kinetics today at 210-571-0318. Non-surgical joint pain relief with lasting results. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318.
Hey y'all, I'm Grant Pinkerton of Pygarden's Barbecue in downtown San Antonio. We only smoke prime meats with a blend of post oak and mesquite. Come see us for some of those giant beef ribs, tender brisket, and a cold big red. We have a Texas-sized bar, great selection of bourbon, and tons of local beers. I love sports, so we have plenty of screens to watch them on. We're open Wednesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner or until we sell out. Come early, come hungry, and stay late.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Michael Jimenez.
Halftime.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. My name's Michael Jimenez. Carl Schoening will be here with me, along with Edwin Hafner. What's going on, Edwin?
What's up? How are you?
Man, it's a good time, man. You got plans for Thanksgiving?
I'm just staying here.
Just staying here?
Yeah.
Dude, I have a 5K that I'm running Thanksgiving morning. After that, going to my in-laws' house. My daughter is coming in from LSU. Going to be hanging out with her. We're going to a concert that weekend. So I'm looking forward to it, man. So welcome back to halftime. Dude, this is a great show, man, because we talk about sports. We talk about pop culture. We talk about all things nostalgic and things like that. Because earlier in the show, I was talking to Carl about his celebrity crushes. And he mentioned Scarlett Johansson as his celebrity crush. By the way, someone commented on Facebook Live that Rosie Perez still is his celebrity crush and was 20 years ago. She was beautiful in White Men Can't Jump. Who was your celebrity crush, Edwin?
I got to go Ashley from The Fresh Prince.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah. I know that was before my time, but that's probably the one that I would say.
But even still, not Hillary Banks, but it was Ashley.
Ashley, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, man, we have a lot to get into in this hour. We're going to be talking about the Cowboys, obviously. Around 1:15, 1:20, we're going to have a good conversation about Joshua Primo. Is it better for him to be in Austin tonight, taking on whoever they're taking on in the G League? Mexico City for the second time, right? Is it better for him to be torching Mexico City for the second time, or is it better for him to be with the varsity team, getting 10 to 15-minute run? Okay. Later on, let's talk about what we're streaming online, whether it be Netflix, Amazon. I want to know what Edwin's streaming as well. The interactive show, you can reach out to us on Facebook Live. We're also on YouTube Live. Just search San Antonio Sports Star, like and subscribe. Again, tonight we crown the Rock the Mic 6 champion. I've already offered 2 or 3 beers out there for someone who comes up and says hi to me.
Yeah, it's up to 3 now, huh?
Yeah, let's do 3 beers, but not each. Each one gets 1, okay? But you just have to say hi. That's all you have to do. Say hi.
They have to be able to point you out and say, "Hey, Michael, is the free beer still available?"
Yeah, it's
cool.
It's like caller number 1, caller number 2, caller number 3. I'll be out there right around 4:30. But it goes on during the Blitz from 4 to 7. I'm assuming that they're going to announce the winner sometime around 6 because they have to, walk the podium, get their tiara, get their roses, walk up and down, say hello, then go on air. So I'm assuming it's around 6 o'clock or so.
I got a couple favorites in mind. I think I've narrowed it down to 2 that could win, and their on-air performance tonight will decide if they get my vote, because the Austin Spurs game doesn't start until 7:30. So I'll be able to listen to the Blitz in its entirety, and if there's a group chat, I'll send my vote in via group chat text.
Yeah, it's a fun contest. Again, next year, hopefully we can do it again. By the way, we asked earlier what Carolina Teague should be called because I didn't know she had a nickname, but Pledger says she should be called the Sequel.
The Sequel?
Yeah,
well,
she was number 2.
I think that it messes up the uniqueness of every name because Mott was the trilogy. So the Sequel, the trilogy, it's a little too unsimilar there. And then you're Quattro, right?
Right.
And we have OG, and tonight will be the Hex. And what did we say Quinn Hudson was?
He was V.
He's
5.
V.
Yeah.
So you see, everybody has their own kind of unique theme. If we give her Dose or if we give her the Sequel, then we mess up with yours and Mott's nickname. So we got to give her something special.
The 3 people who will get a beer from me tonight, just remember, my tab is under the name Quinn Hudson. Okay. Welcome back to halftime on San Antonio Sports Star. Again, we're on ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. Welcome to the show. Big game on Sunday afternoon, 3:25 kickoff, Cowboys and Chiefs. It's been a weird season for both teams because, the Cowboys started out where they played some tough competition early on. They played Tampa Bay, they played the Chargers, and it was one of those things where people would look at me and say, the Cowboys are, could be 3-0. And I was like, well, yeah, you're right. But they could also have been 0-3 because a lot of these games were decided late, right? It could have gone either way. They probably should have beaten Tampa, probably should have lost to the Chargers. But as the season has gone on, the Cowboys have taken care of business. That's the thing. Good teams take care of business, and the Cowboys have been beating up teams that are inferior. They had a hiccup a couple of weeks ago against the Denver Broncos at one point in the fourth quarter, being down 30-0. Made it more respectable, but for all intents and purposes, in my mind, it was a 30-0 loss. Because
I agree
that's
with
the
that,
way that
because
it was.
that's when Dak should have probably been taken out of the game, but they kept him in there and make it respectable. And maybe Dak, who's coming off of that injury, give him a few more reps, because I think Rudy J said it best. You don't want to leave the gym on a missed shot. They let Dak find his rhythm, and it seemed to have paid off going into the Falcons game.
Now, I was reading an interview with Jerry Jones and a couple of former Cowboy players out there who were really upset about Dak Prescott in the last game, because Dak Prescott had played incredible in their win last week against Atlanta. But the fact of the matter is that the game was already out of hand. They were winning big, and he was still in the game, and he goes for a touchdown at the end zone, and he leaps in and just gets crushed. Again, touchdown, didn't get hurt. Everyone's celebrating. But Jerry Jones has criticized that. Some former Cowboy greats have criticized that, saying, hey, we need you to be healthy, man. This game was already decided. Either just slide or throw the ball away, do something. Just don't get hurt. What do you think, man? Do you think that Dak should just play his style and just let the chips fall where they may? Or he has to tone it back a little bit?
That particular case, you tone it back. If it's a one-score game or two-score game and you need to either put away a team or cut into that lead, that makes sense. That Atlanta game was not a contest after the first quarter. So Dak, pretty much, unnecessary risks should not be taken in the NFL. It's a 100% injury rate league. He's coming off of an injury. You don't want to see him gone again. That particular time, you take the slide, like you say, but that's not really in his style. He is a power runner by heart. He wants to kind of take a hit when he goes on his run. And that's the downside to that particular style of running, is while it can help you bounce and stay a little further up if you ever needed to, that particular case, no need to take an extra hit or a big hit and potentially risk something such as a concussion, which can happen at any moment.
Now, the Chiefs are coming in at 6-4, first place in the AFC West. It wasn't looking that way a few weeks ago, because a few weeks ago they were 3-4. They've won 3 in a row since, and Patrick Mahomes has really cleaned it up a bit, because early on he was just throwing interception after interception. And a few weeks ago I was looking at this game thinking to myself, man, the Chiefs might be out of it. They may not be in playoff contention if they're coming into this game at, 4-6 or something like that. But they've turned it around, won the last 3 games. Mahomes, 5 touchdown passes last week. He's looking like his old self again. Carl, what do you think is the big key? Because to me, the big key in this game is takeaways. If the Cowboys get 2 takeaways, they're going to win this game. If they only get 1 or fewer than that, I think the Cowboys will lose that game. I think that's the dividing line, my personal opinion, because if you give Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, and Mari Cooper, if you give them 2 or 3 additional possessions, they're going to beat you 99 times out of 100. So I believe the defining line is, can they get 2 picks or force 2 fumbles?
Winning the turnover battle is always a key. Everybody wants to do that. My particular key is limiting them in the passing game. They're the number 1 passing team in the NFL. This is the number 1 offense in the Chiefs going up against the number 2 offense in the Cowboys. So the real thing is, and it's kind of funny, if you had told me this is going to be the matchup, the Cowboys versus the Chiefs, week 11, and you said one team is going to be 30th in defense and the other team is going to be 9th a year ago, I would have said Cowboys are 30th, of course.
Right.
They were so bad last year defensively. In this particular game, as of this week, Cowboys are 9th defensively. Kansas City is 30th. So put up points on that defense. Don't let them let up. Dak Prescott actually has an argument to being better than Patrick Mahomes. His completion percentage is at 70. Mahomes is only at 65. The passer rating is at 292.6 for Dak. Mahomes is at 294, so that's pretty much a wash. 20 touchdowns for Dak versus 25 for Mahomes, but those 10 interceptions from Mahomes versus the 5 from Dak. And then the passer rating for Prescott is 110 versus 96. So I got to say that it's comparable, and I wasn't expecting that. But I've always liked Dak Prescott as a quarterback, so that's actually about right to say that Dak Prescott at this point, Super Bowl and all the other stuff aside, Dak Prescott is arguably the quarterback you'd rather have than Patrick Mahomes. It'll be a show for both of them this weekend.
You know, if you had told me that this week, I think that if you said that Dak Prescott was better than Mahomes, yeah, I can see that. I can see the other way too. It's one of those arguments. It's just beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if you believe Mahomes is better, great. You might be right. If you think Dak is better, you might be right. Both are very, very elite. I don't know what to make of this Chiefs team because a couple of weeks ago, they played the Packers and it was 13-7. Beat the Packers in Green Bay. I'm sorry, they were home that game. 13-7. That was without Aaron Rodgers. So the Packers, with Jordan Love starting his first game, played within 6 points of the Chiefs at Arrowhead. So I don't know what to make of this team because, you know, they bounced back and beat the living crap out of the Raiders the following week in Las Vegas. So, but I'm looking at this game. To me, it's kind of like a playoff game for both. I know people are going to say, dude, it's the middle of the season. It's not the end of the world. But for their Super Bowl hopes, this game is important for both teams because the Chiefs need it to keep pace and still lead the division that they're in. The Cowboys need this to keep pace for the purposes of trying to win the NFC. It's an important game for both because the Cowboys lose, suddenly that NFC 1 seed might be far away. They might have to leapfrog a couple of games to make that happen, catch up a couple of games. For the Chiefs, if they lose this game, they're back in the middle of the pack in that division over there. It's an important game for both, but I think truly it means the most to the Cowboys. I think it means the most to Cowboy fans because it's amazing the roller coaster of emotions that Cowboy fans have gone through over the past week and a half. After that Denver loss, a little bit of the sky is falling. Maybe we've been figured out. Maybe we've been exposed. Our rush defense sucks. There's a lot of things going on with that. And then just 7 days later, Cowboys are going Super Bowl, baby. You know, they beat Atlanta. They just killed Atlanta. Atlanta had won 3 out of 4. And they just destroyed them from the get-go. That was a blowout real fast. And if the Cowboys lose this game, they would have lost 2 out of 3. I think it's important for Cowboy fans and also for the Cowboys players themselves to build that consistency up and to keep their winning ways. And I fear a loss might be kind of getting their heads a little bit, both the fans and the players.
That's the NFL pretty much. If you're talking about it's a week by week roller coaster of emotions, you know, you're always feeling high if you're on a winning streak and then you drop as soon as you hit a losing streak or at least lose one game. In this particular case, I see the Chiefs as that team that's been there and done it before so much that they want to fast forward through the regular season. And they'll probably still make the playoffs, but they're not playing to a contender status. The Cowboys are playing at a contender status, and now you're talking about somebody who's been there versus somebody that wants to try and get there for the first time as a group. So this is a bigger game for Dallas in terms of measuring stick of how they match up against a team that they might see in the Super Bowl, like the Chiefs.
Super Bowl preview, possibly.
It could be a Super Bowl preview. But also at the same time, the other side of it is Kansas City, they need to think that they know how to flip it on whenever they want to. And this is a test to see, hey, can we flip it on? We want to beat a team in a playoff atmosphere against potentially the team that could win the NFC. But come week 16, I don't think this, unless this is the beginning of the end for the Cowboys where it starts like, oh, they've now lost 5 of their last 6. If this is part of that particular range, because you're saying it's 2 of the last 3 if they lose, I don't think week 16 Cowboys fans are going to care about the result of this game either way.
We're prisoners in the moment at all times, man. If Kansas City played Dallas in the Super Bowl, that would be the most watched Super Bowl of all time. If it was America's team who you either love or hate against Patrick Mahomes and them going back for a third time, that would be the biggest Super Bowl of all time. I am cheering for that now. I want to see that happen.
That'd be cool.
The Cowboys need to make it to the NFC Championship game first because they haven't gotten there in about 26 years or so. So kickoff is 3:25, and then they play again on halftime. On Thanksgiving, rather. So it's going to be a quick turnaround for the Cowboys. Chiefs, 2.5-point favorite in this game.
I think that's fair. Usually the home team, especially a hot home team, will be favored. And it's not all that impressive, although it is impressive what the Cowboys did to Atlanta. It's not that impressive to say, okay, they're an unstoppable juggernaut because they defeated a 4-4 Atlanta Falcons team.
Understood. Cowboys play Thanksgiving 3:30 against it's hard saying Las Vegas Raiders. It takes a while for me to say that because I want to say Oakland, but it's the Las Vegas Raiders. But again, Sunday against the Chiefs, Raiders a week from today. Here's Edwin Hafner with headlines.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
Headline 2. Michigan State football coach Mel Tucker calls the Spartans a destination job as he is set to accept a 10-year, $95 million extension, with Jet Trailer's 10-year, $28 million extension earlier this year is becoming more common in college football as it pertains to those types of contracts.
You ever been to East Lansing? I wouldn't call that a destination.
I wouldn't call it a destination, but as far as being part of the Big Ten, as far as having the respect that Michigan State gets both in football and basketball, it's an easier track to get to a playoff game than going through the SEC. It is a destination place. And if you're getting $95 million, I'd go to that destination all day, every day.
You can buy a summer home with that kind of money.
You won't have the days off because college football coaches don't get days off. But still, I understand what you're saying. I'm sure it keeps his wife happy.
Exactly. $95 million is kind of crazy. But yeah, like Edwin was saying, it's just becoming... If you have a good coach that you want to lock up and make sure that they don't end up somewhere with deeper pockets, just basically offer them biggest thing you can and lock them in to where the buyout's ridiculous.
I've said this, the trailer extension is going to look cheap, inexpensive 2 or 3 years from now.
Headline 1.
Kim Kardashian West helps fly Afghanistan's women's soccer team to safety in London. Members of the Afghanistan's women's youth development soccer team arrived in Britain early Thursday after being flown from Pakistan with the help of the New York Rabbi Premier League side Leeds United and Kim Kardashian West. A plane chartered by the reality star carried more than 30 teenage players and their families. About 130 people in all landed in Stansted Airport near London. The players will spend 10 days in the coronavirus quarantine before starting new lives in Britain.
It's amazing what Kim Kardashian West has been able to turn out of her life. I mean, she has gone from infamous videotape to reality star to now humanitarian. She's doing a lot of things for those who are in death row who had very questionable trials. More and more as she's getting older, I'm respecting a lot of what she's doing out there. Getting these people to safety is very, very, very important. A lot of these people are in danger. And it's one of those things where, you know, we have to, as people, as just human beings, open our arms to certain people sometimes who are in danger. Because if they go back home, their lives might be at risk. And so good for her, man. I'm very, very happy to see that she's doing something with her fame, doing something with her money and her notoriety.
She seems to have a good heart. And she also seems to know a lot of people. So there are things where you'll see her being an advocate of something or another or putting her money towards something that is good. And I think that's what you want to see out of the rich people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the money and connections to do something, make it good. And this is something that's good.
And she's getting results, too.
Headline 0.
The Miami Heat are reportedly eyeing Rockets guard John Wall if he becomes available via buyout. This according to The Athletic and Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports that this is unlikely as Wall is not inclined to give up the rest of his $44.4 million this year of his contract and $47.4 that he's owed next season, and that any team that would trade for him would want him to decline his upcoming player option, which won't happen, for the $47.4 million. Wall has not played this year, and he is for the Rockets, and he is not expected to.
I don't blame him, man. He's sitting on a lottery ticket. I mean, the guy obviously does not want to be transferred, does not want to be traded, does not want to play for less. And why should he? He was worth that money when he signed it. Is he worth it now? No, he isn't. He's on the opposite side of 30. The fact of the matter is that he's still a good player, but he's not $47 million good anymore. He's a good player, but he's sitting on a lottery ticket. $47 million to what? To make another team happy so he can go play ball? No, man. He can just sit on his butt and collect his check.
When that news broke, I looked at the most obvious answer, maybe a Ben Simmons example, because that would make sense. But you have to match salaries on trades in the NBA, at least during the regular season. Nobody has any cap space. So that is way too much money for any team to match, because that means losing at least one of your best players, most likely two of your best players. No one's going to make a trade for him. And the Houston Rockets did this mutually because they're trying to tank right now. You know, John Wall can only make that team better. So in this particular case, it's a really weird thing where a guy's going to get paid $90-something million to stay in shape for when the eventuality comes. He eventually returns to the NBA. But like you said, Edwin, he's not going to turn down that $47 million. I would just chill there in Houston and say, hey, you guys want me to show up to practice today? And they're like, nah, we're good.
Yeah,
you know, that because this is the starting backcourt. It's Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, and Jayshawn Tate.
Not bad.
Jayshawn Tate is just a guy.
Well, not Tate, but Jalen and Gordon are fine. They're fine.
Yeah, and Gordon should be traded before John Wall is traded. It would make more sense for him to be out of the situation because teams might actually want Gordon.
But look at these stats that he puts up. He's a 20-point per game guy with about 8 assists and about 4 rebounds a game. We're getting that production from DeJounte Murray for 15 or 16 million a year.
With better defense.
With better defense, exactly.
The John Wall contract's the worst contract in the NBA
by far.
It's not even close.
That's the 411 and a 210.
Hey, quickly, let's talk about Joshua Primo, because you're going to be in Austin today doing the play-by-play for the Austin Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opinion that he belongs there. Okay, now how long do you want Primo in Austin? Because I want him back as soon as possible.
Belongs is a bit of maybe not the word that I would use. It is best for his development to be in Austin because, you know, I was only barely alive and conscious during this thing called the 90s where where we would allow college players to stay in college and become the man before we drafted them top 10. Nowadays, we're just drafting okay college players because we know you're 19 years old, but you have a 7'7" wingspan, and you're 6'8", and you can jump out the gym, and you kind of have a jump shot. We can work on that. And thus, these 19-year-olds never get their proper seasoning, and thus they become kind of a gamble in themselves. And you're talking about multi-million-dollar gambles. So I'm not relating this to Josh Primo, but anytime you draft a 19-year-old, you don't know how they're going to mature within a system like the NBA where it's no longer college campus or a high school campus where they were 2 years ago. It is a full-time job. And then on top of that, you're going up against men. This isn't a college even where you're going up against a lot of guys where 90% of them are going to join the workforce. This is an actual professional basketball league. And even though you're the most talented player on the court in the G League, doesn't necessarily mean that Josh Primo is the best player. You want to see him progress to being the best player on a G League court before he comes into the NBA. And then on top of that, this is where I was going with, I don't want to compare him to too many players here, but remember Trevor Ariza when he was with the Lakers? He was the young future star, but he eventually just stayed what he was. They traded him for Ron Artest because he never became anything more than that 3-and-D guy. And then Houston was thinking, okay, you're finally out under Kobe. Maybe you'll become this 25-point-per-game scorer. Never really did because those critical development years in LA, he was just kind of the wing that Kobe would pass to out of double teams. So The G League is for these guys to develop skills that they probably would have developed if they stayed their sophomore or junior years in college. Instead, the Spurs are sort of using it as a college extension to improve. Not everybody is going to need the G League. We were talking about it yesterday on the Blitz. Well, somebody like Devin Vassell is okay if he's right away because he fills a 3-and-D need and he can kind of develop. But somebody like Josh Primo, I would like to see him find out what his NBA game is in games that don't really matter.
Now, Primo, I would understand because he should be a college freshman this year. I get that. It is a full-time job. We saw that with Keldon Johnson in his rookie season. Now, I consider Keldon's rookie season to be his second year. The bubble year does not count for me. I believe that was more of a training camp for him. But there are 82 games as opposed to 35 or 40 games in a college season. So they get tired. I understand that. But it's just one of those things where I want to see our youth come into the fold, man. I want to see Primo out there getting 10 minutes because I think he would get more out of being around professional players. Learn by doing, learn on the job. Because that G League, like you said, just because you ball out in the G League doesn't mean that you do well in the NBA. Lucas Salmonich went for 30 last night. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. These are guys that most of them are not going to ever play in the NBA. But good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Full report on Primo. I want to hear it. And I'm going to go to do the over-under on Primo of, let's call it 25 points tonight.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's where he's going. He's averaging 25 a game at the moment. And yeah, it's just going to be fun to watch Primo's development, but I don't think he'll be there long.
Yeah.
I kind of see they split it up. The G League season has a 14-game showcase cup, and then they play a 36-game regular season. I don't think he'll be there in the 36-game regular season.
Now, speaking of things that are fun to watch, I am watching this show on Netflix right now called 60 Days In. It's about being an innocent person who volunteers to go to prison for 60 days. I don't know how long I would last. I want to ask Carl how long he would last in jail, but we'll also talk about other things that we're streaming. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Rock the Mic moves into the voting phase. 12 finalists, live auditions, and only one 2021 Rock the Mic winner.
Hi, this is Carolina Teague, the Rock the Mic 2 winner.
Vote for your favorite Rock the Mic champ now at sasportstar.com. And join us for the live auditions from Slacker Sports Bar throughout November. Only one will be crowned the 2021 Rock the Mic champion. Presented by Slacker Sports Bar and in part by Jim B. Rock the Mic on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 5,000 people died in workplace accidents in 2019 alone. Construction, transportation, manufacturing, oil and gas, and agriculture were among the most dangerous industries for workplace accidents. Thomas J. Henry handles serious workplace accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
The Rock the Mic finale will be live at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar North Star location this afternoon. We will have our final three and our Jim Beam wild card with us, and we're deciding the Rock the Mic 2021 champion. Who's going to be our next champ? Join us at the OG Slackers North Star location and help us congratulate our new ESPN Sports Star team member, and you can enter to win Dallas Cowboys home game tickets. Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you by Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar and in part by Jim Beam.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom, a single platform for video, phone, chat, and conference rooms. Zoom enables real-time collaboration no matter where your teams are. Global enterprises trust the easy-to-use, reliable, and secure Zoom platform to power high-performance teams. Empower your workforce with Zoom. Save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Are you missing teeth and thinking about dental implants? This is Dr. Mark Havercorn of River City Oral Surgery. Dental implants are the best way to replace a missing tooth or all your teeth. Most people are a candidate for dental implants. At River City Oral Surgery, we've made implants from a real surgeon affordable. Call us at 210-778-0002. I'm talking about name brand, real dental implants, not generic knockoffs or mini implants. I'll do the surgery, a board-certified oral surgeon, dentist, and medical doctor with years of experience. That's important. This is real surgery. You need a real surgeon. The first dental implant is $1,300. Additional implants at the same time are $1,000. Try getting other guys to give you a price. These prices include the exam, x-ray, and IV sedation. I'm not going to upsell you on unnecessary stuff. There won't be a high-pressure pitch, and you won't be here for hours. We even have a warranty program. If you need a dentist to make teeth for the implants, we can refer you to a great one. With as few as 4 implants, you can replace all the teeth in a jaw. Give us a call at 210-778-0002 for River City Oral Surgery.
Diamonds Direct is breaking all the rules this weekend with the biggest and final store-wide sale of the year. 3 days of extra savings. Your final chance before the holidays to save an extra 20% on virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. Huge savings across the board. And the selection is like double with entire designer lines flown in for this event. This is the best pre-holiday buying opportunity ever. Special financing too. Details at diamondsdirect.com. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Diamonds Direct. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys. At the shops at La Cantera.
When you're sick, injured, or experiencing a medical problem of any kind, the last thing you want to do is leave your home to find medical care. Now, thanks to Dispatch Health, you don't have to, because Dispatch Health comes to you. That's right. Receive high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the comfort of your own home when you need it. Just call or click, and Dispatch Health comes to your home, able to treat common to complex illnesses and injuries. It's really that simple. Go to dispatchhealth.com now to learn more and download the app so you're always just the touch of a button away from the quality health care you need. Dispatch Health is affordable and in-network with most health insurance plans, including Medicare. It's true high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the ease and comfort of your own home, all for an affordable price. So the next time you're sick or injured, stay home, stay comfortable, and let Dispatch Health come to you. Go to dispatchhealth.com and say hello to the modern-day house call. That's dispatchhealth.com. Go to dispatchhealth.com.
Ready? Broadcasting live from the 50-yard line. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. As always, we're on the go at sasportstar.com. We're also live on Facebook and on YouTube. Welcome to the show. We go till 2 o'clock. Now, Carl, here's the thing. You're married, right? Or you're engaged?
I live with my girlfriend. We're not far from advancing. Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, one of the things that me and my wife do before going to sleep is we like to watch things that are kind of morbid on TV. I don't know why it puts us to sleep. That's our night time. We'll watch TV, we will stream this, that, and the other. But typically we go to bed to like Forensic Files, or we go to bed to Dateline or 2020 or Investigation ID. For some reason, that just makes us go night.
You're a TV in the bedroom couple.
Yes.
We're not. No, I can't do that. I need darkness. I need no. I have a fan for sound, but I need no random sounds like that.
I mean, I turn it off at some point, but it's one of those things where it's the last thing I do is hit click, right? But one of the shows that I'm streaming right now, it's season 6 of 60 Days In. And basically you have these sheriffs from these small towns who, they have their prisons there, and they're concerned about how the prison functions, the safety of not only the prisoners, but the staff. And they hire 5, 6, 7, 8 people to go in there and serve 60 days as a job. And these are people who are just fans of the show. These are people who are former Marines. Some of them are former police officers. Again, a lot of fans of the show will nominate themselves and go through the audition process. And they're put in there to see it's 3 things. Can they survive in jail? That's one thing. What's going on in that jail and what can be done to improve the situation there? It's kind of like, remember that show that on CBS, like Undercover Boss? Thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Undercover Boss, but it's undercover people going into the prison system to see what they can do, what's going on the inside. Could you go through that?
I have not seen the show. I've never even heard of it until now, and I would have to say no. I am somebody who enjoys being free. I like my Netflix and my streaming services and my sports. I imagine that's not a comfort allowed to people in prison. So no, I don't think I would. And then on top of that, I imagine the food's horrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that. Okay, I've never had prison food, never had jail food, but I'm gonna go ahead and think that it's probably not healthy. And I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it's not nutritious.
I would probably get in very solid shape though. Does this gig pay well? How much does it cost? You won't be able to run, but you get to do. I know how to do yoga, so I'll do
I
yoga.
mean, running away from people, that's basically it. But my wife and I talk about it, and it's one of those things where I look at it and I tell her, I would get in shape, man. Those 60 days, I would use that 1 hour time to go to the gym. At least that's what I'm saying in my head. But I'm probably going to be the guy that makes friends and plays Uno instead, because that's a lot that you see on this show. They're playing cards. They're doing, they're playing basketball. There's other things that they're doing, but it's about the conditions there. And it's funny because you see some of these staffers getting reprimanded in real time because of what's being reported from
the show,
from the plants in the show. Yeah. And it's an interesting thing. And it's season 6. But what's funny about it also is that there's some people that are in the jail who are prisoners who kind of ID them as, hey, you're on that show 60 days in. Like there's something off. Like they don't.
You're not a criminal. We can tell. We can smell it on you.
Right. Because they'll ask questions like, hey, when's your next court date? And when's this? And it's like they know the legal system so well that they can spot the phony. So cool. What are you streaming these days, man?
Girlfriend and I are going through Game of Thrones. We are on season 7 now. I want to say we just finished season 6. So season 7. And then I think I want to take a break. I'm sure there's always something else. Like right now, also on Apple TV, Invasion is something that we zoomed through the first 6 episodes. And now we have to wait until Fridays for another episode. So it's a good thing that they do these Friday releases on Apple TV, because Ted Lasso I would have binge watched all the way through. Now Invasion I would have binge watched all the way through. So I don't know how many episodes they'll have in this season, but we've watched 6 in like 2 days. It was crazy.
I have been a big fan these days of American Horror Story.
Oh, that's always good.
So we're in the final season right now. We have about 3 more episodes to go. This is the alien one. There's a show on CBS right now called Ghosts. It's a comedy. I really like that show. It is so funny. Wife and I really enjoy it. If you have DirecTV, it's on demand. That's how we kind of caught up on it, because we kept on seeing the commercials during like football games. It's like, you're watching CBS and they're saying, watch Ghosts. And I thought that looks silly. That looks so silly. But we watched it, loved it. We went through all 8 episodes and we're all caught up. So that's a good show.
The funny thing is, back in like the 2000s and 90s, there were only a couple shows that you could really watch. It was like Seinfeld, Friends, How I Met Your Mother. Nowadays, conversations like this, there are so many shows that I know I would enjoy, but I'm watching something else. There's dozens of shows out there. It's so crazy. We live in the golden era of TV shows.
There's just so much out there, and you get turned on to shows based by word of mouth. Started watching You. We caught up on all the seasons. Great show. It was a fun show so far. I mentioned to you Midnight Mass, an amazing thriller of a series, and it builds. It got better with every single episode, to the point where at the end, just pulling your hair out because it was so good. That's a really good one. I'm watching Narcos Mexico. I think it's called Narcos Mexico. It's the one with I think it's Michael Peña.
Oh, is this supposed to be Pablo Escobar series, but now it's another?
Yeah,
okay.
It's some of the same people are on there as well. Frank Valdez on Facebook Live saying Dope Sick on Hulu. I've heard about that. Don't know anything about it, but I keep hearing a lot about it. A lot of people are talking about Squid Game. Just the name and just the previews kind of turned me off, so I'm not really into that one.
I liked it, but I can see it being hit or miss. And now that it's gotten hyped machine, Like, I remember I watched Orange is the New Black because everybody was saying how good it is. And I think I got to like season 3 and I'm like, I'm done waiting for this to get good. Either you like it or you didn't. And I just didn't really like Orange is the New Black. But I think part of that was because I was told it was so good. I was expecting it to be good right away. And then I wasted 2 seasons of not really enjoying it.
Man, I'm taking a look at my queue list right now. Station 19 is a show on ABC that I really, really enjoy. Now, it's part of the whole Shondaland thing, which involves Grey's Anatomy, and they kind of interweave both of those shows. There was a death on that episode last week, and man, there's very rarely do I watch TV and I get upset when a character dies. But there was a character that died, and it just got to me, man. And then I have to go out and find out whether or not this person wanted to be off the show. Go find interviews, and this person said, yeah, wanted off the show. I asked to be killed off the show. And that made me feel a little bit better, but still, I go back in time and I'm thinking to myself, man, they were leaving all these Easter eggs about that this person was going to die. And so, man, TV shows, I watch way too much TV. Way too much TV.
It's funny, when the television was invented, I think in 1939 or whatever it was at the World Fair, people said it was going to fail because they don't have enough time to sit around and watch the screen for several hours a day.
Yeah.
We showed them.
Well, my wife and I have a thing. We turn off our phones, we put them on silent around 8:30, and we kind of send the kids to their rooms, and we have TV to watch, man. We've got about 15 shows that we juggle, and we're going back and forth, and it's always good times, man. And now Netflix has, new movies coming out kind of pretty much weekly. There's that new one coming out with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. That's on cue for this weekend.
That sounds really good. It's a Netflix movie?
It's a Netflix original.
Wow.
So gonna check that one out. There's also some shows that I want to look at. I'm waiting for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel to have the new season drop over on Amazon. By the way, there's a show on Amazon called 000. It's one word, just 000. It is a drug drama that is amazing. I know people like Narcos, and people like that one with Jason Bateman and Ozarks and all that. 000 is, I've seen all of those shows. I've enjoyed all of those shows, but 000 on Amazon will just rock your world. It was so good. And I'm so upset that it was only 1 season long and they didn't do anything beyond that. But the cinematography on that show is ridiculously good. And the show is 1/3 in English, 1/3 in Italian, 1/3 in Spanish. You have subtitles. But the way that it's shot, it is like the great Hollywood movies of summer blockbuster type cinematography. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm always down for great cinematography, but I haven't even scratched the surface of what's on Amazon Prime Video, or because I have a Prime account, but I've never actually looked through their video library unless there was something that I was told you must watch it because they have movies and such.
Not as good as Hulu and Netflix, but that 000, ridiculously good, incredibly good. Those of you who watch this or who have heard about it, reach out to me on Twitter. I'm at Mike ESPN SA. Carl's at Carl ESPN. Send us your suggestions. I mean, we're game. But hey, we're going to put a bow on the show. When we come back, we're talking about Rock the Mic again. Party is tonight. And Carl has some pretty interesting news revolving the Spurs and some developments going on the Northwest side. This is Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and on the go at sasportstar.com.
If it's rim wrecking board busting action you want, then come and get it.
Catching a right-hand dunk.
The greatest ballers on earth are doing their thing on the hard court, and we bring it to you. Catch the action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The UTSA Roadrunners men's basketball team improved to 3-2 on the season following a 60-57 win over IUPUI last night. The Runners basketball team is back in action at 3 o'clock this Sunday against Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the Convocation Center. The Houston Rockets lost their 13th in a row last night in Oklahoma City. Gugnet Dort dropped 34 points to help OKC get their 6th win on the season. The Dallas Mavericks without Luka Doncic lost in Phoenix 105-98. The Suns had 6 players score in double figures to propel them to their 11th win. Dallas drops to 9-5. And the San Antonio Spurs try to bounce back tonight as they wrap up a 3-game road trip in Minnesota with tip-off at 7. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain, whether you're vaccinated or not, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at exergen.com.
1911 Cigars in Cibolo is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas and the perfect place for your holiday party. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. Book your holiday party now. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the average cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course, enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars at 202 South Main Street in Cibolo. 1911cigars.com.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074, or go to hill-electric.com.
Tired of living with awful joint pain? If you've been to an orthopedic surgeon, you know the drill. Pain meds, steroids, physical therapy, right? When those Band-Aids don't work, you know what's next. Surgery. Major surgery. Hey, it's James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star. Don't do it. Not until you check out QC Kinetics. Get a second opinion and learn more about natural biologic treatments, restorative, regenerative alternatives that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, backs, and hips, and other joints as well. QC Kinetics uses natural biologics from your own body and concentrates them in their precise damaged area for lasting relief. And it's an in-office treatment with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't go under the knife if you don't have to. Call QC Kinetics and get a second opinion now. You have nothing to lose. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Non-surgical regenerative options are here. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills.
From city streets to back roads. From road warrior to carpooler. There are some things you can always count on. Like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Only Wendy's serves a better breakfast with a better biscuit. Our hot buttery breakfast biscuits are loaded with a fresh cracked egg, cheese, and your choice of bacon or sausage. And right now at Wendy's, they're only $1 each.
Wendy's breakfast biscuits, just $1.
So don't take a chance with those other guys. Bet your buck on a better breakfast with Wendy's bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price of participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo. Excludes honey butter chicken biscuit.
Nobody protects you from mayhem in Texas like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Saturday afternoons mean one thing: college football. Hear games from all Power 5 conferences all season long, every Saturday from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hi, this is Paul Feinbaum, and you're listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Football season is in full swing, and so is San Antonio Sports Star's Pro Football Pick'em Challenge, brought to you by Pinkerton's Barbecue. Go to sasportsstar.com, pick the winner of each slate of NFL games, and for a chance to win weekly gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue and Mellow Mushroom. Sign up now at sasportsstar.com. Make your picks, all brought to you by Pinkerton's Barbecue. Now, during the break, you said something like, hey, do you know the Star in Frisco? The Spurs might be doing something just like that. So, Carl, what are the Spurs doing?
They actually released a video last night, or I guess sometime 20 hours ago, so maybe it was yesterday afternoon, of kind of concept art and explanation of, they were using a lot of big words and phrases, so it kind of threw me off. The evolution of humanity, I guess, will be in this area that they're going to have. It's called the training facility, and they've revealed the name. It's called The Rock at La Cantera. So there's just going to be a very big area of, I believe, more than just Spurs training facility. You're also going to have some other things going on with, I believe, some potential restaurants and nightlife. So I think it'll be a cool spot and really add some stuff up there to that northwest part of the city.
If it's half as nice as the Star, I'm all about it.
All
man.
right.
All about it.
I agree. I like the Star a lot.
I'm not a Cowboys fan, but that place is nice. My friend Eric lives out there. I've seen the gym. I've toured the facility out there. It's amazing, man. The Cowboys do it right out there. But, man, it's been fun. 2 hours flew by.
It's time to get your hoops on. The NBA season is off to a fast start. North, south, east.
Sorry about that.
Deep three straight away. Oh, he got another one.
And we got it all covered. Everything a fan like you wants, and then some.
Hammers a right-hand dunk.
Get the latest on your game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Marion Brighton Holiday Auction and Raffle is here again for holidays. Shop for your holiday gifts and buy raffle tickets to win big now through December 12th. The raffle grand prize is your choice of a 2022 Chevy Silverado or Ram 1500 truck from Ancira. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center and the children in our community. Go to brightonsa.org to purchase and see official rules for complete details. That's brightonsa.org.
For over 2 centuries, Jim Beam has been bringing people together. Now you can bring them wherever you go with friends and family.